it's been an easy week, I think, in the way in regards to sort of energies and so forth. It's been nice to stroll. That's what I felt like anyway. It feels like the energy's been strolling this week, which has been really nice, and I've really enjoyed strolling through the world of energy. That all changed earlier on today, or was it last night? That changed last night. Well, last night for everyone in the UK. For everybody else, it may well be your morning or evening or something like that, or the daytime. But there was a M flare that came off, and there's quite a lot of ejecta coming our way. So I didn't actually see this. I didn't see this coming, and it's yeah, I know it's mad, isn't it? I didn't see this coming. It was. I didn't think it was going to be evening freezer. Um, I think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be quiet going through that, and I thought it was going to be kicking off mainly between December the 10th and the 20th. So it's come a little bit early. Maybe I think we still get some sort of flares between towards the 20th rather than towards the 10th. I still think that. And this was a bit of a short one, but it was a really beautiful eruption. So that means there's a lot of fire that's being put into the system at the moment in the earth energies. And as we've had an accumulation of air energy for some time, that's going to set things alight, really. So how have you been feeling the energies today? I personally, I found it very tiring today. I found the energies very tiring today. It's very nice, but very tiring. Maybe because we haven't been used to it all. How you doing? I can't see who that is. I've got to find my. Actually, yeah, I've got to do that. Let me get on to. Let me try and find out what's going on with the. So I can see the comments, because at the moment, obviously, I'm as blind as a bat, and I can't see the comments. So let me just get on to seeing the comments live. Ba, 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 ba. Here we go. Just so I can see the comments live, basically. Otherwise, I can't see them. There we go. It's nice and big. So, Indigo RH, how you doing? Is this the first time I've seen you on this this channel? Let me bring up the comments as well. Is this the first time I've seen you on this channel? I'm not too sure. If it is, welcome. If it isn't, welcome back. One or the t'other. So let me just sort of push myself into just so my head is not sort of sticking out all over the place. And let's pull that up like that. That's a bit better. So yeah. How you doing? Welcome. Nikota, how you doing? Sacred Light Warrior. Hope all is well. All is good. Yeah, so how are you feeling today? Have you felt the change in energies? And there's a lot of plasma coming off that energies as well. Should we have a quick look into it? Actually, now that I've done all of this malarkey. Let me just... let me pull up this. This is the Enril spiral. I'll get there in a minute. So basically we got the sun in the minute. Unfortunately my camera above me is not working for some reason. And I've had that problem all the way through Mercury retrograde. And I seem to have had it for another week after Mercury retrograde. It's still giving me trouble. But here's this this eruption here, and let me just sort of play that through for you. So obviously there is the Earth there. It's to the right of the sun, and it's literally going in our direction. and it's quite intense, as in the way of plasma. There's quite a lot of plasma that gets, comes off it really. Quite a lot of plasma sort of been happening on there. And that's coming our way in the next few days. If we just have a quick look there, be able to sort of like pause it there. Let's just take it back and see when it really does hit. So it's going to be, you should start feeling the effects around about the 9th. That's not tomorrow, that's the next day in the morning. So rise and shine, people. We could rise and shine to Aurora Borealis's. And it's gonna last, approximately, it's gonna last approximately around about 10 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours, maybe a little bit even more than that, 15 hours. It could be quite intense. Look at what it's doing down there. If you look in the bottom section where you get the yellow and the greens, yeah, as it comes off, this is one of the arms that come off the sun. So the orange arms that come off the sun. So that's like an outletting of the positive and negative, and you can even see it in the blue one above. It's literally cutting it off, and it creates that void behind it. So as it goes through us, we do get this sort of drop, intense drop of energies straight afterwards. And it's like going on holiday and you get back from holiday and you've got the holiday blues, like we all have, from time to time. Let me just show you the this one here. So this is the eruption here. You can see hang on a second. I'm trying to find the actual window now. You can see the Earth there down on the left hand side, and you're looking at it right in the middle there. So you get these preempted sort of signals that come off of it just beforehand. Let me just move it so I can actually see what I'm doing here. You get these preempted signals that happen just before it. So it's just before. If you look around where the Earth is and so forth, you see slight flashes. There's one that's just jumped across. Let me take that back. It just jumps across like that. And you get these preempting, and then this gets here is then we have like a clearing of the channels. That's this bit here. This is where it's clearing the channels, so it's almost like, it's arming the flare, as it were, and then the flare hits about now. There it is there, bang. Now look at it, look at the size of it, and look at the size of the Earth. It's like, it ends up really quite big. And when we look at it on, let's look at it on another wavelength, where we can see it coming through. Let me find it. And I can't find it now. That's great. There is another wavelength that sort of like comes through, and it literally blows all the way across, the sun. Let me just bring that up there. And there's like, you can see all this plasma that go flying across the surface of the sun. I think it's in this one here. As it goes flying across the sun, it's affecting everything around it, like the filament energies, that will be creating the coronal holes. There you can see it coming off there, and look at that. So look at the darkness that it creates on the left-hand side, and it's going to be sort of creating these coronal holes eventually as it sort of like builds up the filament energies. Let me just bring up another one for you on the. It's on there somewhere. Here it is. This is just from the LASCO telescope. So let's just have a look at that on the LASCO telescope. Let's put it out there, and you can see this is. In fact, you can get this is taken earlier on today, and you can see the Earth is absolutely tiny. And as this flare comes off, it's that right at the end there, it's just that section there. It's going across the entire, it's around the sun. It's called a halo eruption. So it's actually going to be hitting us enormously as we go forward into the next few days. And there's going to be quite a lot of plasma. So there'll be a lot of emotional energies attached to this fiery energy. So next week here, try and, temper your temper. If you're passionate about things and getting involved in things, then maybe therefore, your emotions will go in alignment with that, So, it's going to be, it could be quite intense. It's going to be quite intense. Just to catch up on the comments there. Hi, Little Wave, lovely to see you. Ruthie Ruth, lovely to see you. So Indigo, I watched my interview with Jeff and Mara show. Yeah, no, it's absolutely brilliant. Lovely people, great sort of thing. A little while back, and I've managed to catch a couple of your lives since. Oh, right, excellent, cool, great to be here. Lovely to see you here. Julie, I had migraines last night. Been in my PJs all day. Fair play. Yeah, I hope you feel better soon, Julie. Yeah, do you know what? I had migraines before that. Leading up to it in a way, but not migraines. Not at all. I don't get migraines, but there was a slight headache thing going on. Did this amazing thing with my parents actually. My mum and dad. Lovely people. They're of a certain age, and I was trying to explain to them how everything has the same, everything has its frequency tune, and I took a rose petal and I told them what rose petal was good for and bad for, and I don't know. I've never looked it up, and just reading off the energy that's coming off a rose petal, got it spot on. Blew my mum away. Absolutely blew her away. That was quite an amazing thing yesterday. Really enjoyed that. And so I was having sort of like little spots of headache. So I don't normally get headaches and stuff like that. I've been quite productive. This is from Indigo. I've been quite productive over the last few days, but definitely had to practice patience. Oh, right, okay. What star sign are you, Indigo? Patience is a virtue, obviously. And it depends what... Everyone can have patience. Depends on what, though. Some people are patient about certain things. Some people are patient about other things. And some things you're not patient about. Some things you are patient about, So, very intense today. This is from Nikota. Very intense today, but went down the timeline to release in my heart center. Quite amazing. Okay. So you've been playing with your chakras then? Which is good. Did you see the messages from energy? There was a good thing about how to, I should have called it energy management, because that's what it's all about. I should do a video on energy management, really. Because you can move it, when you get overload in certain areas, you can move that energy about. So then you can feed other parts of your energy system, which may need it in order to do what you've got to do. So yeah, Little Wave, lovely to see you. You've had a headache since 3:30 this morning. Depending on where you are, 3:30 this morning. Are you in Australia or something like that? That probably would work in with that. That would be around about sort of 8:30 in the evening UK time. So, Chrissy, how you doing, Chrissy? Are you Aquarius? You're an Aquarian, are you? Okay, this is the time of Aquarius. I don't know if you can hear me actually, because I've just realised my microphone is miles away and I've got a problem with it. Oh, can you hear me now? Could you hear me before? Was it not a very good sound? I don't know. Oh, gee whiz. That's what the energy's been like. I've just been so laid back. It's been mad. So Aquarius, good time for Aquarius at the moment, actually. Um, you've got the measure on a lot of things, Aquarians. Um, and this coming week, I think, is going to sort of like try the patient side of it all. And you were saying something about patience, weren't you? Who was saying something about sort of like having to, pay attention to my patients? Forgotten who that was. Well, it was you, wasn't it, Little Wave? It's been intense and a little scary today, the energy, but then it got lovely and lovely later. Lovely later, yeah. So, yeah, I found the energy's got a lot better later on this afternoon for me personally, and certainly this evening it was a lot nicer. Woke up at 2:30 with intense cramps, but that's pretty much when the flares were going off. And this is it. We can, everything is connected. And once you start realizing that, there's a lot of things that may be happening in your life that it may not be your problem. It may be just the energies that are going on around you. So it may not be an issue for you, but it's an issue for the energies that are around you, or with the energies that are around you. But yeah, it's a lot of people, and do you know what? I got a funny feeling it's more females that get affected by it than males. I don't know. Maybe it's good. Males are very singular thinking. They can't think about multitudes of things at the same time. No, I had a migraine, but upper left back tooth painful and sore. Okay. Ah, that'd be you then. I had that yesterday. Yeah, that's it. We're all connecting now. It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, so I think it's mainly females that sort of like feel it very much more intensely than males. I got a funny feeling. With all the, all the stuff that sort of like goes through the sun, the electrical sort of like component. And I think it's because females are much more orientated towards the heart, whereas it's not that males don't have heart chakra or anything like that. It's just that, the heart chakra tends to be like a female orientated chakra, and the solar plexus is much more of a male sort of chakra. The sacrum is it's not the same shape for a female as it is for a male. So you get different shapes. And it's, if you just follow it through, it just goes like that. So there's a loop on one side, and then it goes up, and then it goes around another loop, and then it goes down. So, but it can go like through a loop, and then through another loop, then through another loop, then through another loop. And it's all to do with family and stuff like that. So you can get like, so females can have sort of a loop that sort of goes down more than goes up, and males tend to sort of go up, so it's, you get those orientations, and this is probably why females feel it a little bit more, and I think the throat and the third eye is I wouldn't give them a female. I wouldn't orientate them through female and male, really. They're a bit of both in a way. It depends on what you're doing, but I think females, especially with your rhythms in life, you're much more in tune with rhythms and so forth. So I think females, tend to feel a lot of the solar cycles more intensely than males do. But that's what I've sort of noticed in the round, as it were, and what's going on around us. So there's going to be a lot of fire coming through the system, and through certain people, it's going to make things really intense. Should we have a quick look in the signs? Have we got any sort of like? This is how lazy I've been this week here. Or I wouldn't say lazy. That's not true, because I have done quite a lot actually. But I've been just so in the flow with energy and so relaxed about it. First things first, the air signs and the water signs. And that's another thing. I'm going to be putting out the new timetable for the videos. that are going to be going in the future, because I'm going to change the days slightly. I'm going to do it over 4 days rather than over 2 days. Sorry, over 3 days rather than over 2 days, the readings, simply because YouTube doesn't like me doing 6 videos out in one day. They like me only to do 4 videos out in one day, because I'm not getting the support from YouTube. So, you know, I'm going to be changing that, but I will put it out in a post, but it will tend to go earth, fire, earth, fire, water and air. And I'll be doing sort of 4 videos, 4 signs per day over those 3-day periods. And, you know, so I think I'm going to be pushing the messages from energy to Tuesday, and then we'll do the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on the readings for the week, and then we'll still do the lives on the Sunday. There's other things that's going to be changing in the new year as well, because there's various other things that I'm developing at the moment for this, not just for this channel, but for other channels and so forth. So, you know, and I want to develop this idea of, you know, meeting up in Zoom rooms so we can actually just speak together and everything like that, because it's a little bit easier than trying to go through messages and YouTube and everything like that. So Chrissy says, she's laughing, obviously. In computer terms, my husband is a 1-tab open guy, and I've got 10 tabs open and cycling between all. Yes, I daren't show you mine then. I daren't show you mine. I got several different windows, and they've all got different orientations. Some of them's about energy, some of them's about the YouTube Astroflower and everything like that, and then some of them is about other stuff that I'm developing at the moment. So yeah, I can understand that. You know, my dad's very much a 1-tab kind of guy, but I'm a multi-tab. I'm getting in touch with obviously my feminine sides. But yeah. It's I didn't expect that fire to be coming into the system, and it looks like we're going to be getting quite a lot of fire into the system. Let me just sort of see if we can. Shall we go into the Astroflower a little bit? Is that what is that what you like to do? What would you like to look into at the moment? We can literally look into anything you want. If you've got any questions, could be about energy, could be about tarot, could be about spirits, could be about the event, could be about a lot of things. You know, have you got any particular sort of questions that you want sort of answering? Oh, look, I know why now. I'm not showing the comments, am I? It doesn't seem to be happening. Oh, I can't see it. I've got 98 open. Helps me memory. Helps me memorize, does it, Julie? Yeah, it can be terrible. We can get lost in the sort of computers and stuff like that. Let me just see it doesn't seem to be playing back my comments. Anyway, let's just sort of like go on to the Astroflower and see what's going on there. Let me just bring up all of the flowers. Because it's going to change actually, because I did a lot of the readings before that fire came, or was announced for this coming week, and I had it down to air. As I said, I didn't expect it to be happening this week. I didn't think it was going to be happening this week. Should we have a quick look at Scorpio? Because obviously we have a lot of Scorpios in town. Let me just turn that off. Because here, let's have a look at Scorpio quickly. Because I don't really go into it that much, but it's a massive system. The Astroflower really is an amazing system, really, and I'm doing a lot of work on in the background at the moment. And here is sort of like Scorpio, and you can see the fire. You've only got fire at the top, in between your inner being, which is the central petal, going towards your future and your financial side, but also playing across in the here and now and your future in your relationship side. So it could be really intense for you this week, Scorpio, in the sense that things may start really picking up. And as it really picks up, it's going to demand, you're going to feel like things are going to be going really busy on the surface. And this is where you've got to be a little bit careful not to get distracted and get, drawn off your pathway, because you could get lost in that sort of distraction. And then you may feel like nothing's really getting done. So I would just be a little bit wary of that this week here, the intensity of the day. So that's with Scorpio as it's playing through. Let me try and find the others that's coming through. The only problem is when I'm looking at this, I can't really look at the comments. Here we go with Pisces. Now Pisces is really interesting. See, Pisces is a pure water sign, but look at all that fire they have in them. Have we got any Pisces in the room at the moment? Because Pisces is like, Lynn, how you doing? Tarot with Amber, how you doing? I have a question. Can I have a question answered? Yeah, sure you can. No worries, Tarot. Hi, another Scorpio here. So you're a Scorpio. Little wave. Yes, I'd like to talk about that. Okay, so let's get into that. Thoughts on the fire horse year? Not sure what the fire horse year. That's the first I've heard of a fire horse year. Is that Chinese sign? Is that the sign of the Chinese sign of fire sort of horses? But yeah, what was your question, Tarot with Amber? What's your question? We can even put a few cards. You know what I mean? Let's just do a free for all. Let's just open the floodgates. Why not, eh? Oh, you had your first market yesterday, Chrissy, and was hoping to break for a break today, but woke to several online orders. Wow, that's fantastic. Excellent. No rest for the wicked. Too right. Get it on. Get it on. Does it influence... okay, so Indigo says, does it influence if it's our moon or rising? See, I haven't introduced I could introduce the planets into the Astroflower, but it would obviously make it incredibly complex, and you need to I'd need to explain a lot about it, because I see how planets affecting the energy differently to what is perceived in astrology. And I can understand astrology, and I'm not an astrologer. I'll put that in there. I'll tell you straight. I'm not an astrologer. I studied it with when I had my healing centre. There was an astrologer there, and I used to participate in his weekly sort of astrology club where you'd learn about astrology. So I learned quite a bit, but never that much. Very basic stuff. Okay, so let's get on with a couple. So you're so like, my love life is stuck. No sign of marriage. Okay, culturally needed at this time, as I am turning 30 now. Okay. Okay. Do you get? Okay. So this is. I know this sounds really sort of basic and stuff like that, but do you get out there in life? Do you mix it up? Do you socialise? And so forth, because if you're not, then obviously you got to be in it to win it. You got to play the lottery in order to win the lottery, and if you're not playing the lottery, it can get a bit sort of like intense. Okay, so let's just pull a few cards on that. Okay. Whew. Okay, first card for you. Then this is for who is it? For Tarot with Amber. Okay, this is your first card. I can't actually see what I'm doing because I've only got one screen, and I need to have a multitude of screens. In fact, I need to put it all back. Let's put it all back to basics. And let's put it all back to basics. Right, there you go. That's your first card. The Hermit. Have you obviously been learning a lot about life, learning a lot about yourself and so forth, and you've put, and I think you've been doing that for at least 6 years by the looks of things. You know, since you were 24, 25, around that sort of period there. I think it's obviously you've been digging deep within yourself and within life around you by the looks of things. And when you dig deep and when we understand things, you know, we can look at the human species or the collective human species sometimes and just kind of go, whoa, no way. No way, Jose, I'm not getting involved in that. So you get that as well. With your 9 of Wands, you understand what you want out of life. And the thing is, you tell me if I'm getting this wrong. You know, don't worry about it. Please do. You know, don't worry. Let me just move this to one side so I can actually see what's going on. Yeah, many lessons. It's like proposals come every time everything happens. So it all gets really intense at the same time. Okay, so I think you've understood what you want, what is good for you. I think you understood, so like, you know, this type of relationship. So I'd like someone who I can sing songs to in the car with, you know, that sort of thing. When you're driving along, and that's like a definite, you know. And there's and you know, sometimes we can set the bar a little bit too high, and I've got a funny feeling. Be surprised. Be surprised. Sometimes you find love and that person who corresponds to you, who are completely off the wall to what you are. You know, completely opposite. And I feel that, and I think there's, you know, I feel this. There's like an intensity within you, which is really nice. It's lovely, but like it can be, you know, sometimes it's difficult. It's like when you know, it's like a child. You know, you should go down to the child's level rather than, you know, pick the child up, as it were. You know, that's what they sort of say. And I feel that there's a degree of that's going on there, but there needs to be, you know, there needs to be a sort of, it's almost going out there and just sort of kind of going, what if? That's getting back to that what if, blimey, that what if. I tell you what, that's just keeps popping up in my life. What if? Because you end up with the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is the end of a journey. You know, and I think it's actually a blessing to sort of like know what you know, but without, you know, realizing that, I think sometimes it's quite difficult. I found it really difficult at the beginning when I was doing healing, and I got a lot of interest in my healing in France, and I couldn't, it was really difficult to go down the supermarket and so forth, and it was like, I was almost separate from my community, and I didn't like that, and I had to change that, and I had to sort of change my, you know, put my feet back on the ground, and maybe that's a little bit of that with the 10 of Wands. You know, it's just changing and approaching life in a different way, that with the same things we've already got. But how do I cope with pressure from outside? I wouldn't give a monkey's about the pressure from outside. Don't worry about the outside people. Last thing you want to do is live your life according to what other people think or what other people presume and stuff like that. I really wouldn't. I gave up thinking about that. In fact, you know, I've never really thought like that. But, you know, I really wouldn't worry about from the outside thing. When the time comes, it certainly does arrive when the time comes. There is no doubt about it. And it's just like, you know, it's being open to it. It's being open to the what if. And if you are open to it, so let's just see what happens if you're open to it. Look at that. You're off on them. You could, once you let go, it's all right. Seriously, it's amber, I guess. Amber, it's okay. Once you let go, it's really easy just to sort of like fall in love. You know, it's recognizing the little things that make you kind of go, yeah, that person's, could be interesting, and explore. Nothing's guaranteed in life, certainly not love. Just got to be wary of those sort of like boundaries, really. Don't want to put yourself in a prison. Okay, so don't worry about the outside world. But I think it's just a case of letting your hair down and be surprised. That's what I get about it, more than anything else. Hi, Chakra Visions, how you doing? Was there another? There was another question. There was a question as well from. Was it from Indigo? Indigo, you'd just love a card, would you? How's 2026 looking for us Capricorns? I don't know yet. I haven't actually done Capricorns reading yet. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm loving doing the 2026 readings. I hope you guys have seen it. The collective 2026 reading it's going to be quite mad next year. We've got two periods, I think, in roundabout May and roundabout October, which is going to be a bit of a... we're going to lose our orientation. So I think it's going to be quite intense. I actually think, funnily enough, I'm not saying this because I'm a Capricorn, but I do think Capricorns are going to be a little bit more... they're in a position to be adaptable to it a little bit more. And I think it's because they have Pluto in their sign beforehand. And obviously Pluto in the sign of Capricorn does affect everyone. It's now gone into Aquarius, so indigo. Capricorns have had a very particular path over the last 18 years. And I think they're in a position now. Someone said to me the other day that, before God gives you everything, God takes everything away. And that was a message they got. They'd channeled it in from God and that, and what have you, from the Creator, as it were. And I totally get that. And I think that's what Capricorn's been through. Everything's taken away, and I think it's going to be a little bit easier for Capricorns. But I can't wait to see the 2026 reading for Capricorns, Lynn. It will be coming out not this week but next week. Not this week but next week. It does get complex for me. Is that when I involve the planets? Well, if you think about it, the way in little wave. Have you got a question? Was that you're Aquarians, aren't you? Yeah, you're Aquarian. You're reading your 26 readings coming out at the same time as Capricorns. Not this week, but next week. Okay, and it's quite a bumper one. It goes on for, I think they've been around about sort of like between 35 and 45 minutes. So it's quite a long reading. But you'd love it. You'd love a card, would you, Indigo? Let's see what's going on for you, Indigo, this week here. Seeing things differently. A lot of people have been getting the Hangman. And I brushed on this a couple of weeks ago in the messages from energy, that we can reconfigure. It's like, I think I used the analogy of sort of, you take your house apart, and everything that you've taken apart, you can then rebuild it back up in a completely different way, using what you've already got. And I think that's what it's all about this week here. Gemini, please can I ask on the energy around the UK? This is from, curious if there's I'm curious if you feel it's as many visitors. For your sun sign, that is impacted Gemini sun. So you're Gemini as well, are you? So Geminis, I tell you what, Geminis have They're on quite an amazing pathway at the moment, Geminis, I feel. You've got a lot of opportunities, and it's just a question of having the... It is a bit of a timeline jump for the Geminis at the moment. And this week here was really intense as well for Gemini, and with a great deal amount of possibilities for you. And it's basically because Geminis, I know quite a few Geminis around me, and I've had a few Geminis in the family and so forth, and they're lovely people, they really are. But sometimes they can do too much for other people and not do enough for themselves, and that's what can hold them back. So they can't actually, they never, sometimes they may find it difficult to actually achieve their true potential, and that's where I think possibly to seeing things in a different way. I think that's for that. For the Geminis, you get the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, good work with other people. You're very good at doing that, really, Geminis, and working to a plan and so forth. And that Nine of Wands is coming out as well. They love it, the Nine of Wands at the moment. I think the healthy boundaries for you, Geminis, is not to get sucked back into an old way of living. And the other thing that came out in the weekly reading this week here is getting over internal sort of like doubts. That's what it was mainly about. The other thing you've got is like the Three of Wands. So you've got two sets of three here and a nine, which is really good because now you've got the 3, 6, 9 in a way. It's choosing your pathway at the moment and who you want to connect with. That's what it seems like for Geminis more than anything else. Shirley, hello, how you doing? Always remember it's water from the outside that sinks our boat. Oh, right, okay. For Capricorn. Yeah. That is true. It's water it can be water from underneath. As a Gemini sun, Aries rising. Wow. Feel a bit stuck doing what I really want, and finding new lasting love. You were right on last time as well. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, this week here is for Geminis here that came out. You had I think you had the Three of Swords in the middle, didn't you? Somewhere along the line. And the rest of the cards were really good. But you had the Three of Swords within you. You had the Four Swords down the bottom there, and your connections with other people. And I think it's basically healing that doubt that's sort of like, sometimes we can kind of sort of say, wow, I've tried love and I'm never going to really get it. And I think you will do. So, hi, Chakra Visions. How you doing? So you're so glad to be... Kim, yeah, lovely to see you. So glad you're here as well. Do you have a question? Should we go back to see... so we looked at Scorpio and the fire in Scorpio. We can have a look at the other sort of like signs as well. I hear Randall Carrison. Who's Randall Carrison? I'm terrible like that. Talk about the 369 being the God frequency. Okay. I'm not yeah. Okay. Is that 396 hertz? Is that right? Can you elaborate on your thoughts regarding these numbers? Yeah, sure. Okay, first things first, numerology is actually quite a young thing, more than anything else. That's all right. Little wave, no problem. Pleasure. It's quite a young thing, and this is why I had big problems with 2012 because it didn't really work. The figures didn't really work because it's the dates are dependent upon and etc. But this is where it comes down to the Nikola Tesla and the Rodin sort of mathematics as well. So if you do 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. So then you go 3, 6, 9. And then 4 times 3 is 12, which is 3. So you go back to 3. And then you go 5 times 3 is 15, which is 6. So it's constantly going that way. So it's going clockwise. And when things go clockwise, it tends to be like earthy energy. It's a vibration that goes down into the earth. So 3 tends to keeps you grounded. Okay. 6 is the opposite way, is the anti-clockwise way. So it goes in the opposite direction. So 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So that's 3. So it goes 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9, 6, 3, 9. And then 3 times 6 is 18, which is 9. And then you've got 24, which is back to 6, and etc., etc. And then 9 is 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. 1 times 9 is 9, 2 times 9 is 18, that's 9, 27, that's 9, 36. So 9 is like this kingpin. Let me just try and see if I can find the Rodin mathematics thing. I think I've showed it on here before, somewhere along the lines. Let me try and let me just have a quick look if I can find it. Rodin mathematics. Rodin maths. You can have a look at the image. And it's all to do with also the Freemasonries and everything like that. Let me just put it down to downloads. There it is there. I'm just going to bring up the thing that I'm talking about here. And this is all to do with the 369. So if it's 396 hertz, 369, so you add them all together, is 9, basically. It is the ultimate number. It's the kingpin number. I just want to... Let me just put it into this so I can... I think I've shown it before, but let me see if I can... let me just put it up here. Oh, look. It's a transparent one, isn't it? That's a pin. Let me just put it behind the Astroflower, shall I? So let me just put it in there. Look at that. Don't know if you can quite see that. Okay, so this is Rodin mathematics. I can't actually do my hand over it, or can I? Let's just have a look, see if I can. I might be able to. That seems to have gone horribly wrong. There you go. So here we go. Look, you've got the Rodin mathematics here. So here you go. So if you do 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, which is 7. Blimey. 16 is 32, so that's a 5. 32 plus 32 is 64, that's back to 10. So you get this infinity sign. Okay? And that's really important. And then this is where you have your point 0. And this is where you got 3, 6, 9. Now, if you do, and there's multitudes of different rhythms that come out of this. If you look at, say, like the number 7, so you do the 7 rhythm. So it's 1 times 7 is 7, 2 times 7 is 14, then that's 5. 3 times 7 is 21, then that's 3. So it goes 7, 5, 3, 1. Yeah, once we go up to 28. And then we go on to 35, and then it goes 8, 6, 4, 2, and then goes to 9. Before it goes back to 7. So, you get these rhythms throughout this sort of sort of numbers and so forth. And 369 is the different types of frequency. So, for example, if you've got like a piano has a chord of when you play a one note, there's three chords. But when you play three notes together, which we call a chord, yeah, a major chord, there's actually 9 chords. So this whole 369 just sort of like plays out in our lives enormously. And Tesla was hugely into this. And this has to do with a lot about rhythms in life as well. Once we understand certain rhythms that we have in life, you can start seeing them accumulating in certain points. And that usually can fit with, say, like, obviously 18 is accumulation of the number 3 can go into it, the number 6 can go into it, the number 9 can go into it. The number 2 can go into it as well, and you get the number 1, obviously. Can you get a number 4? No. Can you get 5? No. 6? Yes. 7? No. So you get the 369 in 18, which is, you get a lot of these sort of things. You get the same. You don't get the same thing in 27, for example. 27, you can't get 6 into the 27, but you can get 3 and 9. So and then you get like. There's next time it plays rightly is 36. Where you can get all the 3s, you get the 9s, and you get the 6s. But then you also get 4s and 2s. And no, you can't get 8s. You can't get 8s. So, and there's a whole sort of rhythm about number, and that 369 is all similar to that sort of thing. It plays into the multitudes different of harmonics that come along with it, really, more than anything else. So, yeah, it's quite amazing, really, with that. And it's Nikola Tesla knew what he was talking about. But if you're talking about the hertz of 369, I'd have to look into that a little bit more. It'd be interesting to see what it is in the way of cymatic experiments. It's another thing I'm looking at as well, a little bit more intense. I've looked at it before, and I've gone through it a lot before, like 15 years ago. But I'd like to go back into it. And I'll tell you what got me there was looking about the cymatic experiences was Dr. Emoto. And how how you can play with the frequency in order to create water crystals. And the way you create the water crystals is interesting within itself. The fact that the water has to be below 0 temperatures. Numbers fascinate you. No, they're amazing. The funny thing is that, the decimal system, or the numbers we have, we'd call them Arab numbers, and in Arab countries they call it the Hindu numbers, and the Hindus call it the Chinese numbers, and it sort of follows itself around the world that other people are inventing it, and then it goes to South America, and the whole idea of 0, the point 0, and a point 0 is not really a number. It's a little bit like the colour black and white. They're not really numbers. They're not really numbers. You know what I mean? Too many tabs open, Tom? Yeah, too many tabs. I've got too many tabs. I've got a tab overload. But yeah, no, it was very interesting. And also, if you look at the shape of the numbers as well, which is really interesting as well. So you get you get 4 corners on the letter, on the number 4, and stuff like that. So there's a huge amounts of isn't there an ancient church that had cymatic carvings, something to do with the Knight Templars? Well, you got the you do. You have on the Compostelle route, the pilgrimage route that goes into Andalusia is it Andalusia? Is in Spain. And they if you go to the what is it, the cathedral in Chartres, you get like this labyrinth on the floor as well. The idea was, is every time you walk the labyrinth, you increase your consciousness, and when you finally get to Compostelle, your consciousness is so heavy that you can only get up to the thing by going up the hill on your knees. And the Knight Templars were, they come from the Merovingian lot, and it's all to do with the Da Vinci Code and stuff like that, to do with the Pyrenees, where apparently the Holy Grail was hidden in the Pyrenees. I've spent a lot of time in the Pyrenees, and I think I know why. But I don't know if you've ever read a book called The Holy Blood, Holy Grail. It's like the better version of the Da Vinci Code. And it's done by these journalists and stuff like that, and that has to do with the Knight Templars. And the Knight Templars set up like St. John's ambulances, for example. They took over Malta as well. They had the Maltese cross and everything like that. The Knight Templars are very interesting people. They started up the first sort of banking sort of check system as well. For pilgrims going along the route to Jerusalem, where you get a note from one Templar that says that you have equivalent of 500 gold pieces or whatever it is, and then you get transported to another place, and then you'd go and see the Knight Templar of the area, and then you'd give them that note, and they'll give you, say, like 5 pieces of gold, and then they'd write a note saying you have 495 pieces of gold left on your sort of thing. The Knight Templars are absolutely amazing. Hi, can I ask, is Jonathan happy in another relationship and doesn't want our relationship? Were you in a relationship with this person then, blessed one? Were you in a relationship just like and sub, just like and sub? Okay. Is Jonathan happy in another relationship? Is it your Jonathan? Were you going out with Jonathan? Let's have a look at that. Let's look at you and Jonathan, yeah? Are you happy to be in the relationship, or are you happy to be out of the relationship? Feels like you're happy to be out of the relationship, in a way. Is that true? Am I getting that wrong? If I take Jonathan, I think Jonathan's ready to have a relationship by the looks of things. Obviously, relationships can be incredibly complicated, But yeah, let's pull a few cards on that. Okay, so that's the first card. Five of. There seems to be an extraction from a complicated situation. So there is good joy and happiness to be had, obviously, with the Three of Cups. So, and the Four of Pentacles. Is it a case that no one wants to give an inch? Is that what it feels like? I'm not sure how I'm feeling. It's 50-50. That's what it feels like. Do you know what? I'm not sure that when I look at you energetically in Jonathan, it's like it doesn't seem like you're really willing to engage. It really doesn't feel like you're really willing to engage. And that could be for multitudes of reasons. I think you've got is it to do with, the fact that you've got a path to follow, and Jonathan doesn't seem to be coming along that pathway? Is that what is happening for you? Is that what's happening for you, blessed one? You know, is that why you're not sure whether you want to engage? Because it may sort of curtail your pathway of where you're going down, or what you want to be exploring. And is he sorry for what he did? Put me in a third party. Did put me in a third party. Not sure what that means. Obviously, there's connotations to a third party there. There's, you know what I mean? There's three of you in a relationship. Is that what you're saying? Julian, spiritual alchemy energy. Did I get that right? How you doing, Julian? Spiritual alchemy energy. Hello, welcome. Is that what happened there? Did someone get introduced? I think he does regret it, actually. Yeah, if I'm honest with you, I think he does regret it. Does that make you feel better? But it's not about making you feel better. But do you want to be in that relationship? That's the thing. And I'm not sure you're convinced by it, as I said earlier on, and you've said there with your feeling 50-50. I think it's because you feel like you've got something to achieve in your life that Jonathan doesn't seem to be following the pathway, as it were, going through all of that. He left me someone in. Is he sorry? He left you for someone. Is he sorry? Yeah, I think he is, in a way. Yeah, I think he is. You're new here. I noticed that because I hadn't seen you before. Lovely to see you, Julian. Or is it Julie? Julianne? Is it Julianne or is it Julian? Because it's you're a long tag name there. You know what I mean? Is it Julianne or Julian? It's Julianne, isn't it? Hi, Julianne. How you doing? Lovely to see you here. Yeah, getting back to our Templars though, because I like talking about the Templars. Yeah, they were supposed to find something on the in the what was it, in the Temple of David? Is it the David Temple or something like that? Well, if he did it, if this is going back to Blessed One. Sorry, if he done you dirty, then probably you dodged a bullet. By the looks of things, it's Julianne. Hello, Julianne. Lovely to see you. So yeah, what was that? Something about oh, hang on a second. Oh, there's Shaken Girl. Hi, can I ask what is going on with Abel and his wife? Abel and his wife. Are we talking about Cain and Abel here? Who is Abel and his wife? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Abel and his wife. Is these people you know? What do they mean to you? I don't like looking at people. I feel like I'm like I'm being a peeping Tom, and I don't like doing that. Roslyn Chapel. Now, Roslyn Chapel is an amazing. Yeah, that's all part of that central energy line. Thank you, Freezer. Central energy line that goes all the way up the middle of the UK. And Roslyn Chapel, yeah, is that sort of, it's all part of that sort of, there's a lot of things going on there, Freemasonry sort of stuff. And that's where a lot of the, when, Debbie, how you doing? There was, when you had like, the 13th, Friday the 13th, okay, that's unlucky because that's the day they burnt the French leader of the Templars, and he cursed the French monarchy. And so Friday the 13th became really unlucky, and a lot of the Templars sort of like fled France because the king was in a really bad position, and the Vatican didn't like the fact that the Templars were becoming incredibly powerful, so they got in the French king said, look, I'll take him out for you if you make me much more of a statue, much more of a powerful king, as it were. And that sort of, a lot of the Templars fled up to Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland and so forth. So, how you doing, Debbie? Lovely to see you. Yes, thank you. No, my Abel. Oh, so it's your Abel. Are you? So, hang on a sec. Let me get this right. Hang on a second. So, are you Abel's wife? Is that right? Are you shaking girl? Are you Abel's wife? Is that right? Oh, you know him, right? Okay, so you know him. Yeah. Where? See, as I say, I don't like peering into other people's lives without them really knowing it. I think that's a bit intrusive in a way. I'm a little bit like that. I'm a bit of a stickler for sort of kind of going, I'm not like a gun for hire sort of thing. Makes me feel a little bit dirty sort of thing. I don't really get into that sort of thing. But, is it, they're your brother, either your friend, who are they? Is it someone that you're involved with? Are you involved with Abel? Is that what it is? And you want to know whether he's going to split up with his missus so, he can come with you? Is that what it is? Do you? This comes from Julianne. Do you know if that in the battles of the Templars fought, if eyeballs would be taken as a trophy? That's the first I've heard of that. I've never. What, that the Templars were taking eyeballs as trophies? I think it'd be a pretty bad. Think about it. It'd be a really bad trophy to take. It starts smelling very quickly, and you can't preserve it really. I suppose you could preserve it in alcohol, but I don't know if it's I think so. Shaken girl. No affair. What does that mean? No, you had an affair with Abel. Is that right? Am I saying? Is that right? Am I getting that right? Am I getting that right? I think groups like the Templars, Freemasons, Rosicrucians have been made out to be villains of late. It's a bit like Shiva. When you look at Shiva's, I get on really well with Shiva. Okay, I get you, shaking girl. I'll come back to you in a second. It's like Shiva. Shiva was, sort of looked on as the devil as much as being the Christ in a way. And it's a difficult situation because, Freemasons and everything like that, and Rosicrucians and stuff like that, they've done some, they do get, they're not as clean as they could be. And I think that's brought a lot of problems to them. But then I know a lot of people that are in that sort of thing that are also very nice, as people, and they are genuinely there for the greater good, which they should be. I was a Templar in a past life, and my eyeball was taken. Was it really? Okay, that may have been like a punishment to you, rather than a trophy, if you know what I mean. It may have been a punishment to you. Do you have problems with your eyes now? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna sort you out, shaking girl. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Ooh. Okay, you ready for it, shaking girl? Okay. first card that came out was the Two of Swords. You have to trust your own inner vision of what you want out of life. And I wouldn't be dependent upon someone else if I was you. I think you have to trust your inner judgment. Okay? And that inner judgment, like, that is good for you. If you put your eggs in Abel's basket, that's what sort of comes up. I'm not, you know, I don't know Abel. I should imagine Abel's a lovely person, you know, but I'm not sure. They may be just a philanderer, you know. They may be just a philanderer. I get a bit of a feeling like that. But, you know, as I say, I don't know Abel. I'm not going to look at him because, you know, he's not here to defend himself and everything like that. And I prefer not to. But you know, I think it's difficult. And I think inside, I think you know that the pathway that you've got to follow, there's other things that you need to be doing in the world, Shaken Girl. I think there's bigger fish to fry, as they say. You know. So, yeah, who was it? Who hang on a second, let me get back to that. Who it was? Oh yeah, it was Julianne. You said that they may take it as a trophy. They may have just sort of like, you know, it's like the French, like during the 100-Year War, the French used to cut off, when they used to capture the British or the English, they used to cut off these two fingers here. And that's why the English do that and we don't give them, you know, the bird, as it were. The English do that. That's an insult in England. And, you know, I'm just doing an insult to everybody, which is quite nice. And they used to cut these two fingers off because then you can't pull a bow. You can't pull you can't pull a bow. And they say it's a myth. They say that, you know, that was a whole myth. It wasn't true. But they did just cut off their fingers. But, you know, that's not the reason why we do that. And I think it is. And the reason I think it is the reason we do that, because in France, they have a phrase that says, as easy, when they say something is really easy, they say it's easy as sticking two fingers up your nose. And what they mean by that is that when they used to cut the fingers off the British or the English archers, they used to then stick them up their noses. And that's when the crossbow was developed out of that, because you couldn't pull a bow, but you could fire a crossbow with these two fingers here. So the crossbow was developed. So that's why if English people are doing that, that's all right, Shaken Girl. Shaken Girl, I think you, just something for you before, don't go wandering off yet. Just, you know, I don't think you value yourself enough, my love. I think you're worth more than what you give yourself. I think you're hard on yourself, really. I think, you know, if you valued yourself a lot more, this is it. I think you've got a mission to go on. You got something to free flow, and there's an adventure that you need to go down, and it's going to bring in enormous amounts of abundance for you. I don't think you need Abel. I think there's bigger fish to fry for you. Okay? Yeah. You're going to give back what you stole from me too. Roman, I'm not sure where that came in. Are you commenting on another live and accidentally commented on here? Yes, I was probably a seer. Okay. This is the eye thing, is it? And that comes back to the old Greek and the three old witches, you know, when they had one eye and they used to pass it between them, didn't they? They did off me completely and take it. Okay, so they killed you and took it. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, abundant joy to you, Shaken Girl. Seriously, Shaken Girl. You know, Go ahead and live it. I think you'll be absolutely brilliant. Roman, what is that you're going to give back? What you stole from me too? What's that all about, Roman? I would love a card, please. You'd love a card, would you, Debbie? Okay, let's get you a card. What's it about? You looking at moving or something? You want to move or you want to change places? The Eye of Horus, yeah, as well. You know, do you want to change job? What's going on with you? What's going on with you, Debbie? You know, what's going on? Ah, shaking girl, it's good to see you smiling. Excellent. Yeah, it's nice. You know, yeah, you're worth it. You're worth more than that, man. You're worth more than that. Okay, don't sell yourself. So you're worth a lot more than that. Okay. Ha. No, no. No, it's nothing to do with work. What's it to do with? What are you looking at doing, Debbie? What are you looking at doing? Lynn. Oh no, it's gone. I have a personal question. If my psychic senses have become more sensitive and heightened to where I see from different perspective and liminal spaces, I am having to pause and digest experiences. Future love for you, Debbie. I'll be there in a second. That's interesting. I'm not quite sure what liminal spaces is all about. And healing. Okay, so what's on the healing front you got there? Well, let's do a healing. Why not? Just on the sort of you, okay? First card you get out of the pack is the Nine of Cups. You have a lot going for you, Debbie. Really, you have a lot of possibilities. There's no doubt about it. But you've just got you've got the Emperor card as well. I think you need to stamp your foot down and sort of say, no, I'm not doing this. I want to do this. You know, and you have to be curious about, this is where you get the Eight of Cups. You have to be curious about, you know, where you're taking it, your life and stuff like that. You know, and I do think you need to sort of like put some. I think you need to go ahead and do it. You know, what's going on with the healing things? I'd love a card too. Okay, this is from Len. My energy feels a little crazy. Is it only a little bit? You lucky thing. Walked away from Pisces. So working on myself, but I do want future love. Yeah, okay. Oh, so the healing's in the love thing, right? Okay. What star sign are you, Debbie? What sign are you? Shaken girl, lovely. Well, I'll get on to you in a minute, Lynn. I'll bring it. What star sign are you, Debbie? I'd just like to see about that. What star sign are you? So let's see what's going on for you. Let's have a look at your heart chakra, Debbie. Is that all right? Can I have a look at your heart chakra? Is that okay? Yeah? Okay. You tell me yes and no. Let me have a look at it. And let me see what's going on. Okay. Okay, so that's okay for that. Okay, so let's just have a look at your heart chakra here. Come out. So we're looking in a particular petal. And there we go. We can see that hole there. So let's just close off that hole. What star sign are you? I'm Virgo. Cancer. Oh, yeah, of course you are. Clues in the title, Tom. Dom. You know what I mean? It does say it. Debbie, Texas, Virgo. What an idiot. Okay, Pisces. Okay, should be in a, you know. Okay, so we've got like the third petal along to your left. Did it finish a little bit like, you know, this is mine, this is yours, that's not yours, this is mine? You know, was there a lot of sort of like admin accountability and dispute over maybe money or something like that? You know, is there anything like that at all, Debbie? Or did you feel like you got like bamboozled by it? Uh, Capricorn rising. Well, that's quite good if you're a Capricorn rising. You're a Virgo and Cancer moon with a Capricorn rising. Well, I said actually, yeah. So Parry, how you doing, Parry? Today is the most important part of our journey with creative passion and inspiration to follow our own unique soul's knowledge and purpose. Parry, how you doing? How you doing, Parry? Haven't seen you for a bit. I want to make sure you're all right. You okay? It was more of him denying all of his feelings for me. Okay. 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 But anyway, what we'll do is let's just repair that petal there. So then you don't get this sensation of kind of like, it's nice, and then drops out. Okay? So it's easier for you to sort of like open up again to the idea of love and stuff like that. Interestingly, the year of the fire horse. Oh yeah, let's come back to the fire horse. Who mentioned the fire horse earlier on? I've forgotten who did. Okay, with all the intertwined energetically and our sacred entities that are constantly changing and evolving. We are. I still want to know how you are, Parry. Okay. You okay? If it's difficult, just say, yeah, it's a bit hard. I understand what you're talking about. We don't have to go into major detail. But, Okay, interesting. The year of the fire horse. So this is that. Yes, I'm very grateful to be with you, and my joy at the moment of the gratitude. Lot of energy to you, Parry. Hope you're doing well. A lot of energy to you. All right. Okay. You know where to find me if you know where to find me. It's lovely to see you, though. By the way. Interestingly, let's get back to the fire horse. Interestingly, the fire horse signifies intense energy, passion, and rapid change. That's all right, Debbie. No problem. I'll pull a quick card for you, and I'm going to pull a quick card for Lynn. I haven't forgotten about you. Getting back to that Two of Swords. Trust your own decisions. Trust your own inner vision, and what's right for you is right for you. Okay? There's a whole new world for you to go in. Once you make this decision, you can get closure on it within yourself, and you can walk into new life, into new love in a really good way. So it's the Chinese sort of thing, isn't it? It's the Chinese correlates with the annual solar eclipse. Okay, yeah. So I think things are going to change. As I said in the 26th reading, I think there's going to be big changes in the way in which we do things. And I think that's it's going to change things enormously, very quickly in 2026 in the way in which we do things. And I think this is going to be pleasure, Debbie. I think it's going to change in the way in which we govern ourselves and so forth. No problem, Parry. I do think about you because I hadn't seen you for quite a few weeks, and I was wondering if you were all right and everything like that. I'm present with love and care and the well-being of myself, good, and learning from each experience and wonderment and creativity. You're an absolute gem, Parry. An absolute gem. Yeah, and the solar eclipses. I've got to have a look at the solar eclipses because obviously they're going to be coming up. The solar eclipses, at the moment, they're happening in... Is it still in Taurus? Has it moved on to Aries? I think it's probably in Aries, actually, this year. So it comes in Aries, and it'll probably come into Libra as well in the latter stages of the year. So um, I think you'll probably get the big action at the beginning part of the year if it ties in with that. And then you get the big action, and then you'll get the judgment of it in the coming year, by the end of the year. If you take the fire horse as its things, do you see me moving anytime soon? If so, where would I go? Thanks, Kim. Yeah, did you not sell your place recently, or am I confusing you with someone? I think I'm confusing you with Coral. I'm not too sure. Did you not? Were you not supposed to have sold a place? Um, Let me just let me before I get on to you, Chakra Vision. Let me just have a quick. This is for Lynn. How you doing, Lynn? Let's just have a quick look at that for Lynn. This is 2026. I got a funny feeling that is really summing up 2026, Lynn, for Capricorns. Going off on a mission, a real passionate mission in life, and that's that fiery horse, man. Look at that. That's that fiery horse. You know, and yeah, things you're going to start seeing, everything that's going to be working for you, Lynn. It's really going to start, and boom, shakala. I think you're going to do really well, Lynn. But at some point you've got to go all in, Lynn, to know if it's going to work. Excellent. I'm glad you think that's wonderful, Debbie. I think you've got to go all in. Is there something called the ring of fire in relation to the solar cycle? Well, the ring of fire is in the Pacific, as solar cycles. Well, the thing is, solar cycles next year. Looking at the solar cycles for next year, I think we're going to get a lot of tapering off of. I think sun flares are going to really drop off enormously. So I'm not sure if it's going to be that fiery in that sort of sense. I think it's. I think we're seeing the coming down of the solar cycle 20. It's 25, isn't it? Solar cycle 25. I think it's dropping off in 2026. And it will be picking back up again in 2030. And those of you who've been watching the Messages from Energy will understand what 2030 is all about. It's going to be very interesting year. Okay, so no, I bought a fixer upper, but it looks like I'll sell that rather than move there. That's all right, Lynn. I think, Lynn. I think you've got huge potential, but you've got to go all in. That's the problem. And I've got a funny feeling it may need investment, and it's not just investment of time. So you might need to look as, sometimes you got to sell a Picasso in order to invest in you. No, I haven't got a Picasso, but. You might have to invest in a little bit as well. I think there's a bit of that involved as well. It's time of connecting spiritually and holistically in a different way that makes sense. Yeah, totally. It's rebuilding something new with everything that we got at the moment, Pammy, and it is functional and intuitively strong for our learning and understanding. Yeah. We are definitely going to make it, Parry. One way or another. The soul is eternal. You bought a fixer-upper, but it looks like I'll sell it rather than move there. And if you're not moving there, where are you moving to, Kim? That's the thing. Where are you moving to? Any card or word of advice for me regarding 2026? Yeah, I did do the Aries reading. Did you enjoy the Aries reading, Felicia? I think you did, didn't you? You know, it was a good year actually for Aries. So let me just have a quick look at Kim. I think you're going to make some money on that, Kim. I would sell it by the looks of things. Where do you want to move to? Would you? I don't think you even want to move there. Kayan, how you doing? There's a big solar storm on its way within the next 40 hours. Yeah, I did that all at the beginning, Kayan. Sorry. All things considered. Yeah, there is a big storm coming our way. Yeah, there is no doubt about it. Happened yesterday, and there's a lot of plasma that comes along with it. A lot of plasma, so it's going to be testing the magnetic field of the Earth. There is no doubt about it. You know, let's just have with Kim. I think. Where do you want to live, Kim? I don't think you want to live there. There's somewhere else where you want to live, and I think that idea needs to be put into reality. And there you go. You know, things can really work for you. I think you do need to just sell it. I don't think you should be living there. I'm not sure you're actually really happy being there. You know, I'm not really sure you're happy being, not that you're not happy being there, but I don't think it's the right place for you. That's what I mean. Yeah, you're going to have to work out the investments and my desires and yeah, okay, much appreciated. Yeah, actually, yeah, it was great. So you enjoyed it. Let's get on to any insights about a direction to take for my work this month. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a moment, Julianne. Maybe opticians. I'm only joking. I'm joking. Okay. Let's just have a look. Right, I don't know the best place for me to live. Well, maybe you should start on what you want. What sort, what sort of lifestyle do you want to live? That's what I would start with. Because there's many places in this planet, and you could live anywhere. But it's got to be in accordance to the lifestyle that corresponds to you, really. And yeah, I think that's more the question. Rather than ask where you should live, ask what you've got to do. And once you realise what you've got to do, all of a sudden, you'll be there. You'll be full on. What is that EM3 times Z4? Is that some sort of code? Julianne, what's that all about? That's interesting. Never did hear what Roman was talking about. You give us back what you owe us. Yeah, Frisia. Did I pull a card for you, Frisia? I can't remember now. Blimey, let's do it for Frisia for Aries for 2026. I think you're going to take a position, or I haven't seen this card, but I think you're taking a position of authority this coming year. Yeah, look at that. You get the 10 of Pentacles again. Second time that just came out. It just came out for Kim as well. Yeah, it's like you have this next year. It's like this abundance of understanding and knowledge that you need to convey. And look at that. The Two of Swords again comes out. Love's coming out of that Two of Swords. Trust your inner vision. Trust your own choices at the moment. And King of Pentacles, really good year for Aries in that respect of taking a very solid, powerful position in life. Yeah, I do think Aries will have a really good year actually, and they will have a position of strength. Not have strength as in strength over other people, but just strength in knowledge and depth, as it were, so yeah, what was it? Any work for my work this month? So are you looking for a job? Is that what it is? It was a trolling thing, was it, KN? That's what it was. Gee whiz. I don't know what they're. Yeah, something weird anyway. But anyway, that's their own. It's nothing to do with me. Yeah, I think it's going to be good for you. Eye tester. Let's have a quick look at your work. It was you, wasn't it, Julianne? Your work for the coming month, and see what's going on there. Ooh. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? There's two things there. What do you want to do, Julianne? What do you want to do? Are you working on an art project? Right, okay. You're certainly manifesting something. The other things that came, that next card that came out, actually two cards that came out. You had the page of cups and the four of swords. It seems like you're doing a lot. Okay, so you might have been doing your artwork and stuff like that, and you might have done actually a lot of stuff, and it's like it wasn't being appreciated. People weren't seem to be appreciating it, and it just seemed like it seemed an impossible dream. Okay, and then the last card that came out was the Nine of Wands. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about creating healing artwork. Well, if you want to know about healing artwork, you should go and investigate a lady called Emma Kuntz, Kuntz. Now, she was about in the 1920s, 30s, I think, around that period there. I think she's German or Swiss. Amazing lady, Emma Kuntz. And she did a lot of archetypal artwork, which was, she said, were healing frequencies. Look into her, because there's a lot in that. I think I went down that rabbit hole a lot in that sort of sense there, and I think this is, I think you need to be. Okay, going back to the Roald Dahl thing, basically you need to have something that is, in order to make it work, in order to do, so Roald Dahl said, in order to write some classics, you've got to write consumables. So there's some things that there may be like one or two things that you can do, so it's a consumable art, and it could be like through an archetype or a shape or a simple drawing that helps with anxiety or something like that you can then sell. So then therefore you've got like a constant stream of finances in. Therefore you can concentrate on something that's a much bigger thing in accordance to your art. That's how I feel. So I would be looking into that. When people talk, hang on a second, there you go. This is from Indigo. When people, this is talking to Parry. So when people talk of a split, I just see those living consciously and doing their inner work, and lost in the matrix, playing the game. All is good. Okay. Hi, CJ Worley. How you doing? I just happened on your live. Cha. There you go. Cheers. In the middle of the night here. Okay, where are you? I'm Scorpio and just joined as a member, as a number 13 in the chat. All right, cool. I'm also Cancer rising and Aquarius moon. Oh, Aquarius and Aquarius and Aquarius and Scorpio are very, very connected, very, very connected, and that's really good that it's on your moon as well, probably. Although I'm not an astrologer, I'll tell you that now. CJ, I'm not an astrologer. So, if I could draw well, I'd do art relating to tarot and the journey through the archetypes. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I can't draw at all. I'm really bad. You're in. You're in Mauritius, are you? Nice, nice, beautiful place. Apparently, I haven't been there. Had a friend who was out there doing some stuff with the filming with wildlife in the corals. I think it was in Mauritius. You know. Thank you very much, Tom. Subbed. I'm in. You're in California, are you, Julianne? Hello to California. Lovely to see you. You know, welcome to the Astroflower. Yes, I'm a healer. Okay, so you are a healer. Okay, so you should really look into Emma Kuntz. And you know, it may be a case where you can transfer your healing through simple like postcard sort of things, which gives you you know, the building blocks to doing something much bigger, which would be really nice. We heal ourselves and the ability to facilitate healing in others. There is an energy vortex here. Is there really? Don't step into it. You might end up at the centre of the earth. One only 14 in the world. One of only 14 in the world. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It must be a particular type of vortex. Let me show you. Shall I show you my vortexes? Let me show you my vortexes. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I'm back to my tabs again. Let me just. Here it is. Is this it? Well, yeah, I'll put that up there anyway, because that's my work. That's my energy lines, my chakra map. Let's. There is. No, that's okay. Let me just find the vortices. The vortices for you. Is that it? No, that's the. Let me just. Because then it'd be nice to know what vortices you're talking about. Because obviously there's multitudes of vortices around the globe, around the world. You know, if you're talking about sort of like what do you call it, Bermuda Triangle, or the Devil's, what's the other one, Dragon's Triangle up in round by Japan and places like that. I'm just trying to bring up my other one with the vortices, so that might give you a helping hand of what I'm talking about. Whereabouts is this vortices, by the way? Whereabouts is this vortices? Let me just. I know where to find it now. There you go. Okay. Here's my vortices here. This is from a map that I did like 25, 30 years ago. So you get lots of vortices going through the world, different directions, and they serve as different things. You know, but it depends on the vortices that you're talking about, CJ. You know, vortexes. There could be quite a lot in the world. There's local ones as well. I go down. When I go down in the messages from energies, I use the vortices to go down to the center of the earth, where we get the Akashic, part of the Akashic library and those sort of things. Yeah, it's the 14 vortices. I'm not sure where they are, what they are, and stuff like that. You'd have to sort of like fill us in a little bit more, because you get a lot of vortices around the world. Certainly energy ones happen all over the place. So it's in Mauritius. Oh yeah, of course, you're in Mauritius. Let me have a look. If we have a look in Mauritius. Okay, so you have an opening vortice. So it's between points. Tell me if I'm in the right area. I think it's this area here, isn't it? It's just off. It's off of Africa, isn't it, Mauritius? Between 2017, 22 and 19, where you have the energy is splitting apart. It's a real opening of the energies, basically, more than anything else, which creates things like is it Madagascar? Yeah, it could be Mauritius as well. It could be the island of Mauritius that's down there. It's just off of point 17 as well. Yeah, and I can understand that there's those vortices going on there. The climate scientists monitor air quality in Mauritius. I read somewhere the southern part southern part has very clean atmosphere. Does it really? That's quite interesting. Yeah. The water often is a very powerful vortex. Yeah, that's how you make spirulina. When you make spirulina, ideally you want to do it in a vortex sort of fashion. When you're making spirulina, makes it really, really powerful. I think they did a lot of that was done in Auroville in India. I don't know if you know about Auroville. Made in dedication to someone called Aurobindo, who was a sort of like a spiritual master, spiritual sort of leader. It's Ryan Bell vortex. Unfortunately, I don't know what the Ryan Bell vortex is. It was revealed through channeling. Okay, in 2003. Okay. Unfortunately, I've never heard of it. Ryan Bell vortex. Don't know anything about it, unfortunately. So, what are your thoughts on drinking from copper vessels, using copper rods in the garden? Okay, yeah. Okay, this is copper rods are absolutely brilliant. If you're going to tie things up, I would use copper, yeah. And you can create these, these vortices in order to bring energy into the ground. It grounds a lot of the energy for any plants that you're doing. I did a massive amount of... When I had my healing centre, I had about an acre and a half of land. I used to do a lot of experiments according to energy and growing plants and so forth. Copper is a very good conductor. Obviously, it is a pretty good conductor. The best conductor is water, but yeah, you can do a lot of things. Like in certain fruit trees, I used to create like a 6-pointed star, two triangles, in order to give us the best sort of like energies for the plant, and used to get a lot of good results through it. But yeah, there's if you're serious about growing your own fruit and veg, and it's absolutely, I love growing stuff, and if you're growing things like potatoes and so forth, that's also really good for that sort of things. It also helps out with a certain, is it the carrot fly or something like that? Helps out with the sort of like a little bit in the way of pest control. I don't think it stops all pest control, okay? But I think it helps it out by creating that electrical current that goes through there. But there is a lot of things to be said about, where you plant certain plants next to each other and to create sort of gases that sort of stop the energy, stop the sort of like carrot flies and stuff like that, but drinking from a copper, would it be toxic? But I'm not. I'd hit. So you'd be drinking from a copper cup. Well, no, it's not toxic. It's not toxic. If you think about the plumbing in your house, it's copper. I don't think it's toxic. I actually think it's really good for you. There was a village in India that used to just drink from this one stream that used to come through, and they used to live to an incredibly old age compared with everybody else that was in that area in India. And it turns out that there was a lot of gold in that river that they've been drinking. And gold is also very good for conducting electricity and so forth. Stops causing when the copper stops causing that green mark, then you have had enough copper in your system. Okay, yeah. Have a copper bracelets, which helps with the arthritis flare-ups. Yeah, I totally go along with that. Yeah, copper. They also prove that if you put copper handles on every door in the hospitals, you'd get rid of that illness which is called C. difficile. There is enormous things. Copper is a very sterilizing thing more than anything else. So I don't think you'll get poisoning from it. No. Yeah, I've had champion drink water with a copper cup. Yeah. Has to sit in the cup for a few hours. I get that. Yeah. So, if you think about all your plumbing, it's all made out of copper. Probably not these days. The majority of the modern stuff is probably made out of plastic. Oh my giddy up. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, medicine is really interesting. Really good sort of stuff as well. We have had copper rods in the garden this year. Was also thinking getting a bracelet. Do you know what? I used to also, when I do a lot of dowsing for wells and stuff like that. So I've had a lot of people call it. Well, I say a lot of people. There's a reasonable amount of people, calling me because they've had too much humidity in their house and everything like that, and they got problems with water running under the house and everything like that. So you can train the rods to sort of like, you can give an instruction to the rods and plant the rods in the ground, and that can help with sort of flooding and so forth. It can help, I have to shoot off now. Okay. But can I have a card? Yeah, sure, no worries, Chris. No worries. Absolutely. Where are you off to? Anywhere nice? You've got a load of orders that come in. I can tell. Okay. So what's going on for Chrissy then for this? I've got two cards that's coming out here. Okay. You get the Fool and the Eight of Swords. What's it concerning, Chrissy? What's it concerning? I think you need to. Yeah, exactly. You get the Ace of Cups as well. Do you know what? I think what it's sort of saying here is what you're getting into that market and the online selling and everything like that you were talking about, making orders. That's what I thought you were going to be doing, making orders. I think, just be careful. Don't forget, the work and play balance of life and stuff like that, and enjoying what you're doing enjoying the whole sort of creation side of what you're doing and everything like that, and the orders and what have you, and yeah, but I do think just keep an eye out for the work play ethic. The idea of business is that eventually it sort of like feeds it, it feeds you rather than you feed it constantly. So yeah, I think it's good. You just need to be. Look at that! I've just been shuffling, and the eight of swords came up. That's the the fly in the ointment there, Chrissy. You be a little bit wary of that, okay? Make sure you do get out and have fun, because otherwise you'll feel a little bit lost in the cold, as it were, lost out in the cold, For your reading and your continued support for all the other people. It's a pleasure, Parry. Spinning gyroscope surrounded by a circular magnet that is using copper to work. Yeah, totally get that. Yeah, totally. That's that whole yeah. And yeah, if you're collecting electricity through it, so good call. Joining the pool and the gym this week for relaxing and me time. Yeah, that's all very nice, but that is also work, Parry. Chrissy. That is also work. I'm talking about, fun for fun's sake. People confuse sort of like doing working. You work out at a gym. It's the clue's in the title. You're working out. So just be careful of that, Chrissy. Just be careful of it. I probably got rid of. Probably can't even see the vortices anymore. Yes. So yeah. I think so. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Did it? No, it's all right. Fine. Okay. Yeah. I'll take a last. Anyone got a last sort of question going on? Just like checking it out. Have you any thoughts on rhesus negative blood? Is it alien or is it just science? Or is it just science can't answer it? So that's the rhesus negative blood is the very particular one, isn't it? That can be given to everybody, but not everybody. You can't give any blood to rhesus negative. It's something like that, isn't it? Let me have a look at that rhesus negative blood. I did do an investigation on that some time ago. It was years ago as well. Chrissy, thanking you very much. You must tell me what you're selling as well at some point. Put it on an email to me. I'll be very interested to see what you're doing. Thanking you very much, Chrissy. Very much thanking you. Yeah, it is that when it can be given to everyone, but you can't. Not every blood can be given to them, as it were. Is it alien? Well, there is that 5% of us that is alien that comes from somewhere else. And I think that comes from the whole Eve thing. And I think rhesus blood does come from that. It comes from an introduction of something that was outside of this earth, as it were. And I think is it alien? Yeah, I guess you could say it is. But it's not like, yeah, but it was a long, long time ago, that. It was a very, very long, long time ago. CJ says, energy vortices are spiritual power spots. Yeah, okay, I get with that. Machu Picchu, yeah, Sedona, yeah. Well, the funny thing is, Mount Shasta. Well, Mount Shasta is the rural. Yeah, is Mount Shasta is the sacrum of the earth, and Uluru is the solar plexus. Yeah, it's often linked to ley lines. That's exactly what I showed you on my map earlier on. Let me just show you again. You know, if you see, you know, if you look at my map, you know, you can see the crossing point, which is in Ururu, and that's where you get the solar plexus, and up there at the top in the Americas, that's where you get Mount Shasta's. Machu Picchu doesn't really do a great deal for me energetically. I think it's an amazing place, but I'm not sure it does anything for me personally energetically. Doesn't speak a lot in the way of energy. The pyramids of Giza, and I've explained this many times. When you put pyramids on, you don't put it on a crossing point. You don't put it on a vortex, because you can't control the vortex. The vortex has a one mind. It's one goal. But once you start putting on a ley line, so if you imagine if you've got one line that's coming in here and another line that's going in here, that creates the vortex that is an indirect vortex. It's not a vortex that's right on top of a crossing point. And it's malleable, the energy is malleable. So a lot of the pyramids and so forth, and Stonehenge as well, were placed upon areas where you could play with the energy, a lot more than anything else. But yeah, it's formations attract spiritual seekers and for healing and clarity. With one unique example, with the Rimbella vortex in Mauritius. Okay, right, okay. Thank you very much. I was trying to see whether your map intersects with... Well, it does. As I said, it's down by point 19, 20, 17 and 22, I think, just off the top of my head. You can see with that. But it's what it does is the direction of the energy lines. It makes for the energy to actually be opening up like that. So I'm not sure if it's a vortice per se. I think it's much more of an opening of energies, which you have down in Mauritius, more than anything else. Okay. Lisa, I live in Western Australia state, not far from Mount Adams, said to be a UFO hotspot. Is it really? Okay. Or is that Western... Oh yeah, the Assetti Ranch. Yeah, I know it. I've heard about that. Yeah. There's still, I've heard a lot about that. That's a real sort of, that's going very much into, what do you call it? It's a bit like coast to coast sort of thing. Western, it's not Western Australia, is it? It's in America, isn't it? That's all right, CJ. Absolutely lovely. I've got a book coming out on that, on all of that sort of thing, the energy lines. As I said, I did that map around about sort of between 25 and 30 years ago. Washington. That's right. I knew, Kyan. Thanks. Washington. Is it? Yeah. I should be having a book coming out about all of that. But yeah, it's to do because you have the Dragon Mountains that run on the east part of Africa, which has got the main energy line that goes through that area there, really, more than anything else. And the Mauritius, you could be using the vortices that are in that sort of area because it goes between... isn't it between India and India and Africa, I think. But anyway, but there will be some stuff coming out about all of that. So you're Washington State. So you're up where you had the 7-point earthquake. Is that right? Is that Washington State? Because it's not Washington DC, is it? Which is a bit confusing. Washington State. So it's up that way, up towards that way. Okay, yeah. What are you laughing at? Yeah. No, I've heard a lot about it. I don't know. I don't know huge amounts about it, and I've just been intrigued by it. If you look on that map, let me have a look here. If you look on that map, Washington State, there's a lot of crossing points. It's just north of that Mount Shasta, so it goes up, and you get one of these energy lines, which is called that yellow line that goes across the top there. If you notice, that yellow line actually spends the majority of time going through water, because it is the sort of balancing line as well. And I can understand that there'd be a lot of UFOs be interested in that sort of area. I think that'd be very interesting. But there is it's just east of Madagascar. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it is in that point there where you get when you do get the energies that are pulling that are pushing together. Sorry, I've got it going the wrong way. I do apologise. They're actually pushing together like that. So it's a compression zone. Oh, is it? No, hang on a second. No, it's not. It's between 17, 19, 20 and 22. It is going like that. I did read it right the first time. It is opening up. It is opening up the void of energy. And that can create it's a bit like Schumann lines, or what's the other one called? Hermann lines. When you're dowsing, it's a little bit like that, but on mass scale. So you're going to get some freaky stuff that happen down that way. I can imagine there is some really good vortices going down that way, but it's because it's opening up the energies more than anything else, you know. But yeah. So thank you so much. Past my bedtime. I'll catch you in the next live. Yeah, I'll speak to you in the next live there, Julie. I'm off as well. Much gratitude, Tom. Thank you very much. Thanking you. I'll see you next week as well. CJ, New Zealand and Argentina are safe zones. Are other safe zones. Yeah. I would suggest not to be lower than 500 meters above sea level and no more higher than 750 meters above sea level. Energy connections. Well, you know, there's a lot of other things that are going on. It's all to do with pole shift as well. There's loads of stuff going on with that sort of area. That's a whole live thing that I might well do on Cymatic TV. But yes, Kim, joy to you. I'll speak to you soon. Parry. The upper left hand of corner of the USA. Yeah, that's right, it is. Yes, Washington State. Up towards Alaska way, isn't it? You know. Yeah. But Lisa, the West Coast. Yeah, I think there's I think there's a lot going on down that way. By the way, even though I stumbled on the live chat, I do enjoy following your YouTube. Oh, do you really? It's lovely. Okay, well, thank you, CJ. Lovely to see you here. But, you jump in the live anytime you want. We'll do a live on energy lines at some point. It'd be really interesting. I live 550 metres above sea level. Fantastic, hey, and you're laughing. The beach will be coming to you. More than anything else. The beach will be coming to you. Anyway, look. Been going for some time. I was supposed to only do a short one. I said to myself tonight, I said, look, I'll do a short one tonight. And I didn't keep to that. So I'd like to thank everybody being here. Lisa, lovely. CJ, Parry, lovely to see you. KN, thank you very much. Freezers, absolutely lovely to see you. Julie, I know you've gone, but thanking you. Indigo, lovely to see you as well. Also Debbie, lovely to see you. And Chrissy, beautiful to see you. Thanking you very much for all your support and everything like that. Who else have I haven't missed out on here? Julianne, thanking you for very much for being here and everything like that. So yes, and Lynn, thanking you very much for being here. Coral, thanking you very much. Shaken Girl, don't forget, stay true to yourself. You'd be better off whether you do that. Yes, and Blessed One, hope you're doing, Blessed One, I hope it all goes well for you. Nikota, lovely. Little Wave, thanking you very much. Tarot with Amber, thanking you very much. Shirley, it's lovely to see you as well. Thanking you for being here. Thanking everyone for being here. If I've missed off anyone, I do apologise. Really do apologise, and I will sort of, make sure I see you in the next one. Ruthie Ruth, thanking you very much for being here. So, yes, I guess really that's all that's left for me to say is, thanking you very much. Don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.